Oh shit, that was a long. Hey, Dan Hunt here, the Real Estate Nerd. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is week 3, I believe, of my weekly YouTube videos, where I document the steps that I'm taking towards my path to success. Now, last week I mentioned that I've set out some monetary figures and, personal lifestyle goals and things like that. So, here's what I'm actually going to deliberate and discuss what my goals are. So to give you a bit of context, when I switched careers in Adelaide and I sort of turned my life around a few years ago, at the time I was earning about $50,000 a year, which isn't that much. It doesn't really support a family. It doesn't really support 3 kids and a wife and a house and all of those sort of things. It barely covers all of those expenses. When you start making 60, 70, it does a little bit better. 80, 90, you're starting to get there. But it was still never good enough. I decided to change everything in my life around and pursue a passion that I'd had for a long, long time, which is real estate. And am I glad that I did? Because it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, the transition to real estate was tough. I was still working as a disability care worker, doing evening and night shifts while I was working at real estate during the day. So I was working multiple jobs, and then I was trying to, do odd handyman jobs around on weekends, trying to make an extra couple of $100 just to keep things going while I was an associate, learning the skill, learning the trade, learning the craft. I ended up doing about $450,000 in GCI in 18 months, which is pretty good. But what did I really see of it? Well, in 18 months, obviously, that was 2 tax periods. So you lose a lot of money in taxes. You lose a lot of money in taxes, especially if you're an employee. All right. So if you, as an individual person, are earning that much money, it hits you really hard. Now, I actually earned probably, I'd say, half of that income in the next quarter. I signed up properties at about $250,000 worth of commissions in 3 months, and it had taken me how many ever previous months, so 15 odd months to do the remaining 250. So I'd done, in a 1 year span, I had done, my first year was 186, my first 12 months. That was a huge change for me. Like 186 to 50 was a huge change. Now, just to give you an example though, out of that 186, so 45% went to taxes, and then $25,000 went to EXP. So in hand, I only really got about $50,000 to $60,000. So, but it came in chunks, and then it came in nothing. So if you can't handle not having a regular flow of income, it is very difficult. If you don't know how to manage your money, oh my God, it can be absolutely chaotic. So that's a bit of context as to what I consider. So what I define as success in things now is I want to do about 500 GCI every single year. Every 12-month period, I want to do about 500K GCI. But as a business, not as a private entity, but as a business. Now, this is something I will talk more about on, I can actually talk about this on here, because one of the things I'll be doing is I'll be setting up as a private limited, where any income that is earned is actually earned by the company, and I'm going to be an employee and a director of that company. Now, what that does is actually limits my taxable income as an individual, but it also shows that the company is actually taxed at a max rate as well. So the company actually pays less taxes, no matter how much it earns, will pay less taxes than I will as an individual. So that's a huge tax benefit right there. Plus, it also allows me to access my money pre-tax. So instead of paying tax at source, I will now be required to pay tax at the end of the year. So what that does is, if I, let's say, get a paycheck, all right, so let's say you earn $5,000, use a round figure of $10,000 a month. If you earn $10,000 a month as an individual, you get taxed at source per fortnight. If you get paid per fortnight, $5,000, it will be deducted down, and taxes will be taken out. So half your income goes away in taxes. I'd probably say about 40%, and then another 9% for superannuation. As a business, I will be getting access to the full $10,000, and then I have to then, appropriately put money aside so that at the end of the year, I'm paying taxes. But what it allows me to do is allows me to spend money on the business to help grow the business, which is actually a tax deduction. So marketing expenses, such as a car that I'll use exclusively for work. Other things such as supplies, office, like, getting a new computer, getting my film equipment, all those sort of things. And those are all business expenses. If I were to buy those as an individual person, I am paying out of my pocket, and then I have to try to rebate it at the tax time, which really hurts because you don't actually get access to the money straight away. It actually reduces your cash flow. So in order to improve my cash flow, I will actually be going in as a private limited, as a subcontractor with EXP, so that way I get access to my own money first, all my expenses go out, and then whatever's left is what the taxable income is. So it actually helps reduce the taxable income. And then obviously salaries and all that come out of the company as well. So my goal is to try to reduce my company's taxable income as much as possible. Now, I'll be working in the company as well. My wife actually helps out a lot in the business as well. She helps me run and do a lot of the prep work as well, which is really, really good. Hopefully, as time grows and I scale my company, so what the different avenues that I'll be looking at is rental properties. So you're building a rental portfolio. I want to build a rent roll. Aside from that, the other option and benefits of EXP is I can actually buy equity in the company itself. So I buy equity shares, so that's another form of investment that I do in the company itself, because I really do believe in the company and the future that it will take me in. Aside from that, there's something called revenue share. So if you're an agent out there and you sign up with me, for whatever reason you choose to sign up with me, I can tell you what the reasons are for signing up with me, and trust me, I'm going to get to that as well. You actually I gain benefits. So every time you pay the company actually pays me a recruitment fee essentially to help bring other agents into the fold. Now, why would agents join me? Well, because if you're an agent out there, you're typically paying 40 to 50% of your commissions to your boss. All right, because you're on a debit credit system. I know how that works. It is crap. Like, if you get if you're an agent out there and you're getting a $10,000 commission, you're going to pay 40% to your boss. You're going to pay to the principal, I should say. You're going to pay another 5 to 10% in franchise fees. And what are you really getting for that level of support? So if you were doing 500K and I was doing 500K, my GCI, my net from the after expenses go out, is 475. Whereas you would be closer to, I would probably bet about 210ish. So you're losing more than half your paycheck in working in the traditional model. And what a lot of real estate agents go wrong, in my opinion, is they don't believe in themselves enough. They don't realize that it's actually them that people list with. It's not because of the brand. And if you are a person out there who sold or bought a property before, you tell me in the comments. You let me know. Do you give a shit about what brand the agent is with? Or do you care about the person who you're dealing with? Do you care if your favorite agent changes a brand, and are you not going to list with them just because they've changed the brand? No, because it comes down to the person. This is my biggest problem. Anyway, that's me. So that's one of the ways I'm going to be building my business. Rev share, equity share, rent roll, list and selling. Aside from that, I'm actually help a lot of agents with social media as well. So if you're watching this video, I actually help agents build their social media profile, build their brand up, and brand building is something I'm actually really passionate about because it's something that I want to do, and I have a very particular area that I'm going into. So I know how that works. I know the steps I have to take to get there. Now, if you have a different sort of brand in mind, it depends on what your vision is. If you're out there, you want to build your own brand as well, reach out to me. I'll happily have a chat with you as well. If you want to work with me, please let me know. I'll happily talk about what I can do to help you. But what's worked for me is consistent posting. So these are the secrets of how I've built, went from a brand new agent to 400K GCI in 18 months. Constant posting online, all right? It doesn't actually take as long as you think it does because I'm filming and recording in batches. So I do a lot of my filming in one day. I do the editing and all those sort of things. So it takes up 1 day of my 7 days. But that 1 day results in so much extra benefit. I actually did no door knocking, no cold calling to generate 400K GCI in 18 months. That is astounding, out of which majority of that was in the last quarter before I moved. And I actually had to turn my socials off for a while because I wanted to be able to deliver and commit to the actual work because I was transitioning and I was moving. So these are the steps that I personally took, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. And that's how I'm actually building it out further. I'm actually taking it a step further with YouTube and all those things as well. So I'm posting at least 4 to 5 pieces of content a day, ideally, across different platforms. What that does is it helps build my organic reach. Now, organic reach is really, really good because it helps build a larger audience so that when I start running paid ads, it actually uses that organic reach to help then make a better targeted audience for me. At least that's what I understand. That's what my experience is. Now, if I'm wrong in this, please let me know. I'm I don't believe I'm an expert in digital marketing, but I know my field and I know what's worked for me. So that's all I'm sharing with you is I built a massive reach. Last week, I think I did the math on this. I reached 18,000 people at the time I was counting, and since then it's been another 3 days, and I'm currently sitting about 25 to 50,000 people a week in organic reach just by posting regular content. Now, one of the ways you can verify this is actually go into my socials and see how much viewership I'm getting, see how much reach I'm getting, all that sort of stuff. Like, I'm posting on Facebook Reels, I'm posting on Facebook, the actual platform, I'm posting on Instagram Reels, I'm posting on TikTok, I'm posting on YouTube, I'm posting in a lot of different places and a lot of different avenues. That allows me to, reach a lot of people from a wide variety of audience and a different type of audience, because each social network has a different type of audience. Now, in terms of steps that I've taken towards my business, the steps that I've taken towards my business is actually go double down on the content production, improve the quality of the work that I put out. So I've done a lot of beta testing last week, and I'm seeing what's working and what's not. And what I thought would work didn't, and what I didn't think to work worked a lot better. So to break it down a little bit more, organic content that I was filming in-app, especially on TikTok, green screens, talking about relevant pieces of content, things that are of public interest, generated way more viewership and actually helped my follower count. I went from 110 to 180. Now, to a lot of people that's not much, but 50 to 100 followers is great for me. Like, that's huge for me. I am not going to complain about that. That's like if 50 people walked more into my house and said, hey, I'm going to be listening to what you're saying. That's good for me. My Instagram went up as well. My Facebook count went up, which is fantastic for me. Now, that's what the plan was, is that week 1 was trial and error. Week 2 is doubling down on more of the content that I feel is working. And then from there, extrapolate that, build the organic reach, and then I'm gonna hopefully now run more targeted ads. Now that I understand the creative process a little bit more about what's getting better traction, I'm gonna use that to run paid ads to hopefully generate some business. Now that's gonna be part 2, phase 2, starting the next 2-week cycle. Now, phase 2 will also include me cold calling and door knocking in supplementation to the paid ads that I run. I will let you know how that goes as well, because this is a learning process for me. I am brand new to the Gold Coast. Again, I've covered this in the previous videos. I'm brand new to the area. I know how to sell houses. I know how to market houses digitally without next to no spend on marketing. And I know how to do it bloody well and get really good prices. Now, just for reference, I ended up getting calls. I still get calls from Adelaide. People calling me going, hey, Arhan, I want you to come and list my property because I know what result you got for the property around the corner. This happened literally 2 days ago where I got a call from a vendor going, hey, can you come and list this property? I said, look, I'm no longer in town. I can send somebody else who's my business partner down there, who's actually one of my mentors, who's helped me learn about real estate and all the good things to do and how to have better conversations, how to deliver better results. Of course, we have differences as well, but can I send that person in instead? Because I can tell you, if I'm not there, they're going to be the best person to, be able to help you. And my mentor in Adelaide went down and he signed out the property today. Now, how many agents who have been in the industry for less than about 2 years are getting incoming calls? And this is through referral. This is from people who have been passed on my name from one of my previous vendors. I've only had maybe one bad experience that I would say where somebody has been pissed off. And again, that's because of their own bullshit. Close to 60 odd sales, I've had one person who's complained. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to connect with every single person. And there's gonna be times when no matter, even if you did everything right, when you give a finger, they'll take an arm. And that's the situation I'm in right now, but that's okay. Because I know I haven't done anything wrong, I've been by the book, and so there's nothing to worry about. But that's what my point over here is that if I have spent 18 months in Adelaide generating business to the point where now I get at least 1 to 2 calls a month organically, without me spending on ad spend, without me, prospecting harder. So that's not me calling the database, that's not me nothing. That's incoming inbound traffic from referral leads. If I can replicate that in the Gold Coast, I'm already halfway to my monetary goals, but that's my monetary goals. In terms of lifestyle, now that's something else I talked about as well. One of my lifestyle goals that I would like to achieve is actually being able to spend more time with my kids, explore the areas that I'm in, give them more opportunities to be able to explore the land, go to more places, see more things, travel more, help my kids gain more exposure to the world. That's a big part of what I want to do in terms of family life, which is why I have always made the sacrifice to lose business in order to make sure that my family is going to be looked after. My kids are still little, and I'm only going to have so much time with them as they're growing up. While my son and my oldest and my middle child were growing up, like in their baby years, I worked like a mad dog, and I missed out on moments that I will never ever have a chance to gain back. So now I actually do prioritize my family to make sure that no matter how much I hustle, they're not going to be the ones who miss out. That's why I wake up early and I go to bed late, because I work in the hours when they're not awake. I work when they're at school, when they're not around. I will work myself to the ground just so I can get more time with them and still be able to provide and deliver for them and for all my clients and my business and my own personal motivations as well. That's a big part of it. I have personal goals where I want to do better because it motivates me and it keeps me on track, and it actually helps me grow as a person because I want to set a good example for my kids growing up as well. But part of being able to set that example is actually spending time with them so they understand why I do what I do. Being a good father and a good husband and a good son and a good businessman are imperative to me. Like, they're all on the same playing field, and you can do it all. You can, as long as you organize your time enough and you stop getting into the mindset or into your head where you think you are too tired or you're too... Trust me, you can do way more than you think you're capable of. The only way you find your limits is when you actually push your limits. And you can constantly keep trying to push more and more. And there will be times when I'll have a breakdown and I'll go, look, I'm tired, I'm mentally beat down, or I'm physically beat down. And then when I get to that point, I will take the time off to recover and do better. But as far as steps towards business, I'm doing well. Monetary goals I've already outlined. Those are my family goals. Is to be able to travel more with my kids this year, to help them experience more of life so that they can grow up to have opportunities that I never did and have a better understanding of life earlier than I ever did. So that's my monetary and my personal goals. Aside from that, steps taken towards business and things to improve upon, well, I definitely need to keep improving upon my time management and my ability to not procrastinate. Hopefully this week's video was helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.